Okay, by now you have identified some limiting beliefs or some ideas that you have been harboring for however long that you now know are inhibiting you from reaching that next level, from accomplishing some things that you have set out in your mind to do. You have written those things down so that they are in front of you and they are real, and you recognize that they are things that you think consistently, ideas that you entertain and support with your behavior consistently. And then what I want you to do now is get a completely new sheet of paper and now start to write down ideas and beliefs that are in opposition to those things that you've identified that are negatives. Write down the positives. And when you write them down in the present tense. For instance, if one of your negatives is that you believe that you can only make a certain amount, you can only make $50,000 a year, and your new belief is that you're capable of making $500,000 a year, then you write down that I am grateful for the fact that I have the capacity within me to earn $500,000 a year. In other words, I am earning $500,000 a year creates a mindset of the reality existing. You speak those things that are not as though they were. That is the power of your capacity as an individual with a unique position on this planet of being able to look at a reality that you're not satisfied with and create a new one. We're the only beings on this planet. All other animals have to relate and adapt to their environment. We can literally change ours, and it begins with the way we think. So you're going to write these down. Now, you're not just going to write them down for the sake of writing them down. You're writing them down because you're going to visit them a minimum of 2 times a day. Me, I prefer 3 times a day, and I still do this. This isn't something you do. You say, okay, I've set my paradigm, I'm going. You continuously reinforce your beliefs. You continuously add new beliefs about your expansion and your power and your capacity to change things in your life. But when you start out every morning, when you wake up, you look at that, you read it, you're reading it, and that's why you write it in the present tense, because you're creating a now reality that not someday in the distant future, I'm going to do this or do this, but right now I'm in the process of doing this. It is a reality now. I am manifesting it now. I am becoming it now. And when you do this, you're going to repeat this in the morning. I do it again around noonday, somewhere in the midday when I find a break. And right before you go to bed at night, let that be the last thing that you say. Let that be the seed that's planted in your subconscious. Before you go, understand the power of your subconscious. It is your subconscious that is guiding the vast majority of the behaviors and the decisions you make instinctively. Very rarely are we put in situations where we are allowed to have this significant amount of time to actually divorce ourselves from our emotional state and our reality and go off into this total vacuum of logical thinking. We normally respond with what we have in front of us, what we've conditioned our minds to believe. We move with what we think is an intuitive, instinctive response based on our experience. So what we have to do is change that idea, change the way we view life, so that when we're placed in that heated moment where a decision has to be made, we don't make a decision that's counterproductive. But that is the power of the subconscious. What you feed it. As a man thinks, so is he. That's a book that you definitely have to read, and it's one that I am including with the books that I want you to read, which includes Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, The Science of Getting Rich by um, Wallace D. Waddles, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, and James Allen's As a Man Thinks. Those are things that you need to read and understand. It gives you so much insight into your power to move your life, to change your life, to become those things that you desire to be. But that's what I need you to do. Be repetitive, consistently repeating those affirmations, but not in some distant way. Make sure you're emotionally attached to it, not in some uncontrollable emotion, but that you are attached to the happiness that's associated with living a life like the one that you are creating on this side of the ledger, in the positive side. Make sure that you're doing that. Make sure that that's a part of what you are. Thanks. That's it for now. See you on the next slide.